Oh, hi, it's Howard again. And if you've watched any of my videos, you'll nearly always see me showing a little tab somewhere on the lens barrel and explaining that you switch it to X for electronic flash or M for bulb flash. I was firmly told the other day by my grandson that he had no idea what a bulb flash gun was. And I realised that if you're 40 years old or younger, there was a fair chance you've never seen one. So I thought I'd better do a short video that shows the hassle and expense that was the bulb flash gun. Okay, my 1950s BC 605 in front of us here is very typical of the bulb flashes of that era. So let me do my first ever unboxing. Okay, first we've got a nice little instruction book, 12 pages with all sorts of interesting data and everything, how to use it. We've got a nice little leatherette case, and you can see, with a bit of luck, you can see the word Rico on it if I get the light just right. So let's open that. And in here we've got the goodies. We've got a lead, we've got the flash gun itself, and we've got a flash bulb adapter. And I'll explain a bit about that in a minute. First of all, let's have a look at the flash unit itself. We've got an ejector button here, so if we had that in, or a flash bulb, it ejects it out, so you don't have to touch the bulb with your hot finger, the hot bulb with your fingers. On the back we've got a little test light, so before you fire it you can press the little test light and it will glow green to tell you that the bulb's right and the flash is ready to go. Inside the back cover we've got a capacitor. Now the capacitor is the unit that builds up the charge from the battery to fire the flash, and the battery is, as you can see, is a National Photo Flash 22.5 volts, and these were a mercury battery and they're quite expensive to buy. They weren't cheap. Okay, we'll put the back on. Also on the back we've got a button where you can actually fire the flash manually. So if you happen to have a camera that didn't have any flash connection and you're in a dark enough room, you could put it on B, flash the bulb, release the button on the camera, the B button, and you might get something. Now, somewhere around here I've got my last ever flash bulb, and here it is. There were various types of flash bulbs. There were much bigger ones than that, and they had a bayonet fitting just the same as this adapter. It's a very standard type bulb fitting, and they just went straight into the camera, and then you popped them out with the ejector. But in this case, with the mini flashes that were a lot cheaper to buy, you needed an adapter to do the job. Now, as you can see, this one's blue. It's for colour film. You could get clear ones for black and white, but this one's for colour. Alright, so we put the adapter in. Now the bulb, because it hasn't got any base on it to speak of, it's got two thin wires that on the extremities of the glass there, you can probably see them. So they go in against the two contacts, so you push it in like that, and that's how you put the bulb in. Now to open the flash, you grab it, bring it around and lock it into place. So there's your reflector mechanism. On the bottom here there's a wheel to tighten it down on the camera. So once you've slipped it into the shoe, you can tighten it down on the camera. This flash can also handle a camera with an early type hot shoe. So it doesn't always need the lead, it depends on the camera. So we'll loosen that off so we can slide on the camera in a minute. Now, this bulb, you used to buy them in packets of, I can't remember, it was 5 and 10 or 6 and 12, but you used to buy them in packs. I think it was 10. And on the packet gave you the guide number for the particular globe. Now, the packet's long gone, so I've assumed that this has a guide number of 50. It's just a guess, but for the purpose of the exercise, that's all we need to do. So I've set the guide number pointer to 50 here for the guide numbers. And over here, let's say if we're looking at 10 feet, for instance, I hope you can see that all right. If we're looking at 10 feet, we'd use 5.6. And, this, we can go guide numbers from 25 around to 400. So that'll give you some idea how big some of the bulbs were. But anyway, we'll leave it on 50 for the purpose of the exercise. So, all right, so we're going to photograph something 10 feet away. So we're going to use 5.6. And because the camera's got a cold shoe, we're going to need the lead. So we'll put the lead on. Now you'll see the lead's got two different types of attachment to the camera. Ours uses this one, so, and most do. That was an older style attachment. So we push this into the two holes there. It's pretty tight, but in it goes. Okay, so let's put it on the camera. Okay, so we're going to slide into the cold shoe. We then tighten it down so that it's firmly on, and then we plug it onto the little post for the flash on the front of the camera. All right, so you're sort of almost ready to go at this stage, but we've got to make sure, as you can see on the camera, it's got three settings: V, X and M. X is for electronic flash, M is for bulb flash. And the reason there are two settings for the two different flashes is the fact that with electronic flash, they fire instantly. The second you press the shutter button and it clicks, the flash goes. There's absolutely no gap. Whereas with bulbs, they take a second or so to, well, not a second or so, but a fraction of a second to build up their intensity before you get the full light from them. And so by having the two settings, the M setting puts a small delay in the shutter mechanism, so that after you press the button, there's a tiny delay before the shutter opens, so that then you get the flashes at full intensity when it opens. All right, so we're focusing on something 10 feet away. It's at f5.6, so now we have to set the camera aperture on 5.6. It's a bit awkward showing all this with the flash on top. And speed, we'll probably use a 30th of a second. Because you're obviously, if you're using the flash, you're in a fairly dark area, and if the flash bulb, it really needs about a 30th of a second to operate properly. Okay, so at this point, we're largely ready to go. So it's just a matter of winding the film on, cocking the shutter, and taking the shot. At that point, the flash bulb is dead. So you pop it out, and get another one, put another one in. So as you can see, it's slow, it's cumbersome, and it's very expensive. So as you can imagine, when flashes like this came along in the 60s, and you could simply go pop, 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 the bulb flash died very quickly. The small electronic flashes killed it off in no time. Professionals back in the 50s were using electronic flashes, but they were big units with a big shoulder battery pack, and so and they were very expensive. So amateurs couldn't afford them. So, but when these came along, and you can simply pop out the flashes one after the other. And only with a couple of AA, well in this case 4 AA batteries, the bulb flash was dead. Okay, well I guess that's about it. So now's the time to like and subscribe this video. If you've found it useful, I'd really appreciate your support. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.